Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Blake Damon here with another speed build. I'm building this lot in Windenburg in a 30 by 20 lot where rustic residence used to be. Yes, I demolished that shitty build and decided to replace it with a better one. This is a tier 3 tiny home, so that's a small home and needs to fall under 100 tiles. I made it to 99, couldn't get to 100. I couldn't figure out where to place an extra tile. The perks your Sims will be getting if they live in this lot are lighten the load, which means that you'll get lower bills, and feeling fine all the time, which means that you'll be happy, inspired, and focused for twice as long. As you can see, I've just now finished my A-frame house. I've done the exterior, haven't really done any of the inside, but I usually start from the outside and then try and figure out how the inside works after the house has been built. The only thing I really do check is to make sure that all the rooms are either 3 squares wide or deep. I found 3 squares to be a good minimum because you'll be able to fit furniture in there and maybe have a place for the sim to walk. Otherwise you'll have Sims who just stand around telling you they can't do anything. A little bit of history about A-frame buildings. They're actually an old form known in Europe, China and the South Pacific, and they're actually originally called roof huts. Which I guess makes sense because it is a roof that has become a hut. Therefore, roof hut. For this build, I was inspired by something I saw on Pinterest. It was a picture of an A-frame house, but it had like something sticking out the side of it. And because I'm totally obsessed with shipping containers at the moment, I decided to have the thing sticking out of the side of my A-frame house would be a shipping container, naturally. You'll notice that the shipping container attached to the A-frame house is bright red. That's because I really wanted it to contrast as much as it could against the A-frame house. You might have noticed the A-frame house is actually all monochrome, so all blacks and whites and greys. The monochrome was supposed to symbolize something old or classic. For example, we have classic black and white films, and we have the classic look of the black suit and the white shirt and the black tie. I've talked about red and how I feel about it in my previous build. I think it was the Rainbow Townhouses one. In that video, I basically talk about how red reminds me of fast cars and how fast cars look really nice and modern, and so therefore every time I see red I think, oh, modern. I think I've already finished decorating the shipping container, so I think you might have noticed the way I actually decorated and furnished that space. I used a lot of the eco lifestyle pack for that area only, keeping it very modern and light and airy, with lots of space in between the furniture. So the way I'm going to furnish the A-frame is going to be in contrast to how I've furnished and decorated the shipping container. I really wanted the A-frame to feel very cozy as it could. It's actually not that hard to do, especially when you're doing a tiny build. In order to achieve the cozy feel, I tried my best to make sure everything was really tight. I always find brown and wood things to be very comforting, me personally, and rich deep colors to be quite cozy. So I tried to pack as much as I could into every single room and tried to make things look a little disheveled, making it look like it's been used and worn. I always find things that are old to be, I don't know, more comfortable than things that are new. For example, new shoes that you've just bought, they're really stiff and hard to begin with and they're very uncomfortable to wear, but then you have to wear them in for a couple of days and then eventually they're comfortable. That's if you get good quality shoes. Otherwise, it's RIP your feet. Anyway, what was I talking about before I was rudely distracted? Oh yeah, so I was talking about decorating the A-frames. A lot of the furniture and decorations that I used for the A-frame house was actually from the Get Together expansion pack. A lot of the stuff that was in there really matched the style of the home. All the windows and all the walls were from that pack anyway, so I thought I'd keep it in the family. I don't think I would have been able to make this build without ladders. I mean, looking at the space right now, there is absolutely no way I would have been able to fit stairs anywhere. I don't think any amount of rearranging would have been able to fit stairs in there. I think I would have preferred a set of nice spiral stairs, but they are nowhere to be found in the current catalogue. I think that would have been a better fit, especially with the style of the house, but maybe they'll come out later in the future, who knows. What do you think? So the story I had in my head when I was making this build was that this was an A-frame house for a while, maybe built some time back by the grandparents of the current owner. This would explain the rather dated look of the furniture and the furnishings and the decor. Now the current owner, in my head, is the grandchild of the original owners of the A-frame house. The grandparents in their old age bequeathed this A-frame house to their grandchild. Unfortunately, the grandchild didn't really appreciate the coziness of the A-frame home, so they decided to go ahead and build an extension. And being eco-minded, they decided to reuse and recycle an old shipping container. And thus we have the renovated A-frame. I actually like the way those two structures come together to contrast each other. How they're in a juxtaposition with each other. How they clash but they also complement each other. Look, I could do this all day, but you get what I'm talking about, right? Actually, I'm a little surprised at myself. Usually, if given an opportunity, I like to fill spaces up with plants. I didn't get to do that inside the house, so I made do with the outside. I actually thought that they might crowd the build, but actually they do a good job of complementing it. It also suited the narrative I had in my head for the backstory of this house. It may be stereotypical, but every time I think of grandparents, I always think of them gardening for some reason, or baking, sometimes even knitting. And speaking of knitting, has anyone seen the new Sims 4 Nifty Knitting Stuff Pack trailer yet? I've only seen it once, but I think I might do a reaction video. What do you think? Oh, speaking of cozy, this is actually my favorite bed. I love the quilting on it, it's amazing. I wish I knew how to do quilting, but I don't. It's from the Sims 4 Cats and Dogs expansion pack. Find it and use it, everyone. I think I'm almost done with the build here. I'm just adding bits and pieces of clutter and curtains and rugs around the place. Oh, I almost forgot to point out that the washing machine is actually the wash tub just outside the kitchen area. I opted to have the wash tub instead of the washing machine because I really like the way it looks with the house, and I usually don't find the opportunity to use that wash tub very often in builds at all. So I'm actually pretty happy that I got to use that wash tub for once. True, it's not as convenient as the washing machine where you just put the laundry in and just walk away. If you absolutely do need to get a washing machine, you can change the dining table into a two-seater one and just put the washing machine there. Just know that I'll know what you've done. Jokes, everyone. Now I'm just checking to see if I've got enough lights, and then that's it. Now we're gonna do some flybys. That's the front of the house, this is the back of the house, and this long ass corridor is the shipping container, living room, kitchen and dining, and bedroom. And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, go ahead and reward yourself by clicking that like button and subscribing to this channel. If you'd like to download this build, please do so through the Sims 4 gallery under my EID, Blake Damon. And while you're there, check out my other builds. If you have any comments or suggestions, leave them down below in the comments section. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.